Canada 1, South Africa 0, and just like that, Bafana Bafana are coming back home. I want to start by saying this. There are a lot of things that we're going to discuss in this video, but I also just want to take a moment, and say, this has been fun. Right? This has been good because we started the World Cup so horrible, we recovered and got ourselves here. A moment that we've never had in history of South African football, getting out of the group, right? And I know some people will say that, oh, Mpilo, but even in 2010 we got 4 points, but we did not get out. The point is, we got out of the group. And on top of that, 2006, we did not qualify for the World Cup. We had double Steven Pienaar playing for Everton. 2010, we did not have to qualify for the World Cup. We're hosting. 2014, we did not qualify. 2018, we did not qualify. 2022, we did not qualify because of what happened against Ghana. Then 2026, we qualify. Even after we docked 3 points, we still qualified. Making that journey to the World Cup and qualifying in the first place, big deal. Getting to the World Cup and recovering the way that we recovered, also a big deal. I think that in all the frustrations that we might have and the angers which we are now going to address, we made it to this point. It's something to then build on. I know a lot of people will be calling for a new coach. It's fine, bring on a new coach, but whoever that coach is, he cannot get us anything less than what we've achieved. Now, with the next coach, we dream, right? We're dreaming about winning AFCON because we've gotten to the semis with the coach that we had, Uproos. Because I think that a lot of people, just like in England with Gareth Southgate, a lot of people are underestimating the work that Hugo Broos has done at Bafana Bafana, right? And yes, today was horrible, and we're going to talk about that. But we can't underestimate the fact that before Broos came, even with Sundowns dominating, even with Sundowns having Upito as a coach, even with Sundowns winning a star, we still did not qualify for AFCON. We still did not qualify for the World Cup. But this guy comes in, Sundowns, yes, are dominating. Yes, there is Rulani dominating. Yes, now there is this, there is that. But at the end of the day, him as a coach, you see what he means to the players, because Abo Ronwen Williams, whenever Bafana wins, they talk about how much he believes in them. By the way, that's also a problem on its own somehow, and we'll address that as the video continues. But I don't want us to just dismiss what we've just experienced here. We've experienced something truly beautiful and historic, but that's gonna probably get washed down because as a coach, you are remembered by your recent performance. It's a Bafana team that has gotten people coming and going to the stadiums again. Now, let's talk about the match. Okay, starting lineup, I think there was nothing wrong at all, except Apolis, right? But when I saw Apolis playing, I was like, okay, he's gonna be trusted like one more time, because I think against Mexico, it didn't come on against Mexico. It came on against Czechia, didn't give us much. There was some rotation, which allowed Mfukeng to also do his thing. And then against South Korea, he didn't give us anything again. So I was like, okay, maybe this is going to be his game. And if it doesn't give us anything, he gets taken off at halftime. Halftime comes, Umchida is not giving us anything. He stays. And this is why I'm saying that Bruce's loyalty to the players is a problem, because Apolis helped us a lot during qualifiers, yeah? Like, no doubt, he did help us. But it's a World Cup, it's a knockout now, and he's not giving you anything still. Take him off, you know. But since Bruce has loyalty to Apolis, because Apolis has been there longer, he has used him longer, the first domino to fall is Mfukeng. If Mfukeng is not performing to the level that you want him to, I think the first problem that we had is that in the previous game, Umbata and Stwele were playing close to each other, which attracted the press to two of our players. which then left Mfukeng free between the lines. But in this game, we played Ustole alone as a 6, and we kept on playing the ball to him, wanting him to be pressed so that then we can play to Ronza and then find the 2-8s, which in the first half was Umkwena no Mfukeng. They were not playing Mfukeng as a 10. Was more valid, was still an advanced position where he was in. It's just that now he was monitored more. But if you have Umkwena dropping deeper, then someone goes with Umkwena, and then now Mfukeng has a space on his left, has a space on his right. But now he has to shift to the right-hand side and play with the right winger. That kind of limits him and corners him to one side, because that side is for Umkwena. That was the problem. So me, I'm expecting Guti at halftime, the changes I was expecting. 1, drop Umkwena, put him alongside Ustole. Attractive pressure with the two of them. Have Mfukeng as a 10 in front of them. Take off Apolis, bring on Umurem. Simple. Now you have pace ka Umurem, and Umurem is going to get the ball and drive down and take shots, because one problem that we're having with Umasego is that he has to cut in. Decision making was not great today, just like in the previous games. Just in the previous game ended up scoring. So that became a problem, because Apolis was not giving him anything, but he was kept. Why? Because of that whole thing of loyalty to his players that he prefers. Bruce says the players that he prefers. Because even Umremi, he comes on very late in the game when he finally plays them. You have Usbelebele, who could have come on for Umasego as well, because of his pace. He could also help with marking with Davies, but Umtao did brilliant in dealing with Davies by himself. And then there comes the stubbornness of Hugo Bruce as well. This game is high intensity. Yes, we're playing in a stadium that's air conditioned, but it doesn't change the fact that the intensity is high. The people who are watching the watch along with me will tell you that one thing I said, even around the 60th minute, I said, okay, now what I would do, because now he has brought on Umbata, and now he just has 3 giants in midfield, so that we can kick them, we can be physical, we can win the ball back sharp. That works, but where is the creativity? It's nowhere to be seen. We ended up pushing Umkwena. That is why we lost the game as well, because Umkwena was now pushed to play as a 10, which means he couldn't help us much defensively. If you look at that goal when it's scored, Umkwena is coming from behind number 7 to mark him. And by that time, he's coming behind. It's too late, because Ustole is in the box waiting for that long throw, because we thought they were doing a long throw. And then while Ustole is still coming out of the box, no one is marking the number 7. But Umkwena is also tired. Why did we not realize that, okay, Umkwena is tired, and since Bruce, and not just Umkwena, Stole was also tired. Umbata was fresh, he still had come on. Take off Stole, bring on Adams. Take off Umkwena, bring on Adams. Because it's pointless to have a player who can score a goal from 30 yards out if he's tired, because you are hoping that he will take a shot from distance and score. He's tired, and that, whether we like it or not, we did win a game without Umkwena. I'm not saying that he was so bad and he cost us, but I'm saying that the coach himself cost us the game, because he wouldn't just admit to good Umkwena is tired and he must be taken off now. But it's like, nah, I trust him, he's my soldier. But sometimes trusting your soldiers gets you in trouble, which is exactly what happened in this game, because we conceded the goal deep in added time after 90 minutes, which is heartbreaking. It would have been better if we considered in the 60th minute, because I think it would have unlocked Bafana to start attacking. But the other problem that I have with Upros today is the fact that clearly the style and the way that Bafana wanted to play, they wanted to force Canada to press us. So you saw Williams with the ball, and then the Canadian fans would boo. Williams with the ball, he tells Ustole, even at some point, Ustole had to turn and be half-turned so that he doesn't scan, he just sees, because he is standing turned, he can see whoever is around him. He had to stand like that because they wanted him to get the ball. Even though there were 2 strikers of Canada, Williams would just play it in the middle and try to force everyone to press Ustole. But that wasn't working. So we needed to find something different, something unique. That's why I'm saying drop the 10, the 8, and put him alongside the 6. so that we have numbers to play through the press in the early stages. We're to depend on Abo Okon to dribble, which is risky. By the way, Okon had a solid game. Mbogazi had a solid game. Umtao had a very good game. There is no player that I can look at except Apolis, Nomasego. Our wingers were really terrible. And Umakopana, it wasn't our front line. They were not good based on two things. Decision making, Gamasego today. Apolis's, what do you call this? It looks like it was just too much pressure for him. I don't know, he just couldn't deal with it. Not horrible players, by the way. They're not the reason we're knocked out, because they were not getting the ball as well, because unlike South Korea, I made an analysis on the South Korea game. With South Korea, they would buy it. When we wanted them to press us, they would come and press us and then would get out. But Canada did not do that. They just stood. They just stood and waited and waited and waited. They didn't care. That is why if you look at the stats, you will see that Canada created 4 big chances, 0 from Bafana Bafana. So one thing that you do for sure is that if you have a team that has a star player like Mfukeng, you build a team around him. Umkwena is a big player for Bafana Bafana, but is not the most creative. He can come up with a goal, he can carry the team defensively and help here and there with creating chances, but he's not the most creative. Bruce fumbled by taking off Mfukeng, but because that meant that, as I said, with Kaizer Chiefs coaches, the assistants who left now, one of the biggest problems that Chiefs had was that they would try to solve a structural problem with personnel. You have a problem, you can't play out from the back, you can't beat the press, and then you solve it by taking off a number 10, who was not carrying the ball, by the way. Yabo. So because he didn't trust him, Vele. So in conclusion, Hugo Bruce was bad today. His decisions were horrible. His subs were late. We needed to inject pace much earlier on in the game. Apolis had no business finishing that game. Mfukeng had no business being taken out, especially not at halftime. Give him 15 more minutes. It's not like, yes, they were on top of us towards, like, especially after the break, but like the first hydration break, they were just on top of us. But change the structure and see what happens. Then if you see what Mfukeng is struggling, because also if you concede in the 50th minute and then Mfukeng is a problem, you take him off, you still have 40 minutes to come back to the game. But just holding on and then conceding a goal later on, it's much more heartbreaking. And I know people will be calling for Bruce's head, but he's already leaving. He's already leaving, and whoever is coming now, I don't want to hear excuses, because Nite, Ibafana Bafana already has quality, we can compete. But one thing that also needs to be said, one thing, we have good enough quality in South Africa. Umkwena should not be playing in South Africa. Mfukeng should not be playing in South Africa. What does this have anything to do with us losing? Well, because you are also limited by your competition. Your growth is also limited by your competition. Mkwena plays against Orbit College. Quality player who could be playing in Belgium, who could be playing in Ligue 1 in France. But since he's playing against people that he can just dribble, like you see how many times Umta will dribble past a person and then they recover. Or how Apolis dribbles past a person, then he ends up turning back. Because when he does that in the PSL against Marumo Gallants, he's done with that player. And he can dribble him again. You're not going to do that against players who respectfully, like with no respect actually. You are not going to expect the same thing to happen when you are competing against players who play at a higher level than the PSL. So yes, EPSL is very good, has a lot of good players. It's not a good league, but it has a lot of good players. and there's some relative competition between Pirates and Sundowns currently, and some teams that can upset you here and there. But it's the rest of the teams are just horrible. We know each season that TS Galaxy are the ones who will probably give Sundowns some problems. Orbit College, you know they're gonna lose. Marumo Gallants, you know, Guti, maybe if the day allows. But it's not like high level competition where nothing is predictable. So we also need to export more players. Because look at Umbogazi. Umbogazi, good quality, he leaves South Africa. Ime Okon, my days. Stole came back, recovered himself. Imagine if Apollos was playing in a league, or even Mfukeng was playing in a league where he got bullied week in, week out. He would learn to find solutions to problems like the ones that he had today. Because when he gets man-marked, when his space gets limited, he disappears in games. And if a coach does not trust you already, he's going to take you off, which is rather unfortunate. So, Mina, personally, I'm proud of the achievement. I'm just mad that we lost to Canada because I'm hurt a bit that we lost to Canada. But I'm not like fuming at the players and pros and, you know, I'm just like, well done, Bafana Bafana. It could have been better, but this gives us a platform. This is a good platform. Whoever the next coach is, I don't want to hear excuses of we can't qualify for the World Cup. This time around, we had Benin, we had Nigeria. We still qualified. So if next time we get, whether it's Cameroon, it's Ivory Coast, I don't care. I think Nigeria are genuinely one of the best countries in terms of quality of their squad. But we managed to qualify ahead of them with that consistency. So next coach, he must win AFCON. Next coach, he must go to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, because clearly with this one, his limit is here. We agree that his limit is here. He has reached it, but let's not just bash him and dismiss him. Let's give him credit. He has taken us from here and he has put us here. And now whoever comes in from here must take us to another level without any excuses. Have you subscribed? If you haven't, please do so. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.